Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika Mehtu, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's President Droupadi Murmu holds bilateral talks with New Zealand's Deputy Prime Minister and Governor-General, discuss bilateral ties. Wellington ratifies International Solar Alliance. Bangladesh set to get a new interim government headed by Nobel Peace Prize winning economist Muhammad Yunus after weeks of tumultuous student protests. India's central bank keeps repo rate unchanged at 6.5% for ninth time in a row. GDP growth forecast for the current fiscal year unchanged at 7.2%. And India's Neeraj Chopra aims for gold in men's javelin throw today, while Indian hockey team plays bronze medal match. Wrestler Vinesh Phogat announces retirement a day after she was disqualified in 50 kg weight wrestling event from the ongoing Olympic Games. After concluding a successful visit to Fiji, India's President Droupadi Murmu is visiting New Zealand on the second leg of a three-nation tour. On her arrival in Wellington on Thursday, President Murmu was accorded a traditional welcome in line with Maori traditions at Wellington. She was invited for the Hungi tradition that includes clasping of hands. She also received the Royal Guard of Honour by a tri-service contingent of 100 New Zealand soldiers. President Droupadi Murmu attended New Zealand International Education Conference in Wellington and presented with a memento that depicts the Maori art. Addressing the conference, the President highlighted India has made notable progress in the field of education and exchanges with New Zealand and will further boost ties between the two nations. And there you can see the MEA briefing currently underway in New Delhi.
बांग्लादेश छोड़ने के बाद पूर्व पीएम बांग्लादेश की शेख हसीना भारत में हैं। क्या उन्होंने भारत से राजनीतिक शरण मांगी है, और अगर ऐसा है तो क्या भारत इस पे विचार कर रहा है, या किसी भी तरीके से किसी तीसरे देश में उनको शरण मिले, इस तरह की कोई कोशिश भारत की तरफ से की जा रही है?
I'm Huma Siddiqui from the Financial Express. I have two questions. One is, what happens to the line of credit that we have given to Bangladesh in the defense sector? And what about the Bangladesh bilateral trades with India right now? Is it going on or is it on a hold?
So we have seen a lot of violence in Bangladesh. We have seen attacks on minorities, especially Hindus. What do you have to say? What is India's reaction? I'm Siddhant from WION.
Okay. Madhu.
सर, मेरा भी सवाल इसी से जुड़ा हुआ है। अभी तक जो प्राप्त जानकारी है, भारत सरकार ने के रिकॉर्ड में कितने लोग, खासतौर पर अल्पसंख्यक हिंदू, बुद्ध और ईसाई जो हैं, उन पर हमले हुए हैं, उसमें कैजुअलिटी का नंबर्स क्या है? खासतौर पे जो धार्मिक जो मंदिर हैं या फिर बौद्ध मठ हैं, उन पर जो हमले हुए हैं, वो कितने रिकॉर्ड में लिए गए हैं, और उसको लेकर क्या भारत ने कुछ कम्युनिकेट किया है बांग्लादेश में जो अभी आर्मी है या कोई भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है उसको?
Kadambini Sharma from NDTV. सर, जो वहाँ पर अभी मिलिट्री चीफ हैं उनसे या वहाँ पर जो भी अभी हैंडल कर रहे हैं, क्या उनसे राजनयिकों और जो वहाँ पर भारतीय मौजूद हैं उनकी सुरक्षा को लेकर कोई आश्वासन मिला है? और एक और सवाल है, जो बॉर्डर्स पे जो बहुत सारे लोग उधर से यहाँ आना चाह रहे हैं, मोस्टली माइनॉरिटीज़ हैं और कुछ अवामी लीग के हैं, क्या उनके लिए भी कोई प्रावधान करने की बात सोची जा रही है?
Okay. Too many questions. Lot of repetition also.
सर मैं
कभी इनको भी देख लेते हैं, हमेशा आपको देखते रहते हैं।
सर मैं नीरज दुबे प्रभा साक्षी से। सर मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि इस तरह की रिपोर्टें हैं कि पाकिस्तान में भी माइनॉरिटीज़ के मन में भय है और वो लोग भी भारत से शरण मांग रहे हैं। कुछ लोगों ने टूरिस्ट वीज़ा के लिए भी अप्लाई किया है। बताया जा रहा है कि कल अटारी बॉर्डर से 2 फैमिली भी इंडिया आई हैं। इस मामले में क्या अपडेट है?
Okay. Same question. Rishabh and then Milan.
So good evening, Rishabh from Times Now. So there are 2 reports. One, the people who came with former Prime Minister of Bangladesh, the report says that they have started leaving and Indian authorities are helping them to leave for their next destination from India. Not about Sheikh Hasina or her sister, but other people who accompanied them, and we are given to understand there were more than 10 in numbers. The second, sir, there are reports that BSF has foiled people coming in Indian territory in Tripura. If we can have more details about how many such incidents have taken place on the international border where people have tried to cross over to India.
Sir, Milan from India Today. What is the level of threat of Indian investments in Bangladesh at the moment? Because are we considering that the new government may provide a base or port to either US or China? If yes, how will it affect Indian Navy's monopoly in the Bay of Bengal? If that is something that is being looked at the moment. Also, how long will Sheikh Hasina ji be here in India? We understand that some of her associates are now moving to different places from here on. So these are the questions.
Okay, let me answer these questions. On Bangladesh, so we'll come back to you. If your question has been answered, then you can look at some other question. Umar Shankar, Abal, former Prime Minister शेख हसीना जी को लेके तो हमारे विदेश मंत्री ने बताया स्पष्ट रूप से उन्होंने भारत में अपनी स्टेटमेंट दी थी कि शॉर्ट नोटिस ने on her plans. That other question. External Affairs Minister has already explained the approval for former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to come to India even at a short notice. The situation, as you know, is still evolving as far as Bangladesh is concerned. It would not be appropriate for me to comment on her plans. Huma, your question regarding LOC, trade, bilateral trade, all those things. As I said, the situation is evolving. We have, it has been reported that this evening there'll be the swearing in of the interim government. So once those things take place, one thing I would like to emphasize and tell you that as far as we are concerned, Government of India and the people of India are concerned, for us, the interest of the people of Bangladesh is foremost in our minds. Siddhant, a question regarding attacks and minorities situation. This particular issue was also addressed by External Affairs Minister in his suo motu statement. We are also monitoring the situation, as you know, with regard to the status of minorities. There are also reports that various initiatives have been taken by groups and organizations to ensure the protection and well-being of the minorities. I would like to reiterate what External Affairs Minister had said in the Parliament. We welcome these steps. but will naturally remain deeply concerned till law and order is visibly restored. Having said that, we also want to make it clear that, you know, it is the responsibility of every government to ensure well-being of all its citizens. We hope for early restoration of law and order in Bangladesh. This is both in the interest of the country itself and for the region as a whole, or the larger region as a whole. मधु, आपका सवाल, हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे रिपोर्ट्स देखे, आपने भी देखा होगा कि वहाँ पर घटनाएं हुई हैं, हिंसा हुआ है, हिंसा भड़का है, और पिछले एक आधा सप्ताह में जब से चल रहा है वहाँ पर प्रोटेस्ट, आपने देखा होगा कि बहुत सारी क्षति हुई है पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टीज़ को लेके और भी चीज़ों को लेके। तो यही है मोटा मोटा कि उसका आकलन हमारे पास नहीं है कि वहाँ के सरकार के पास आकलन हुआ क्या हुआ है, लेकिन हम लोग ये कहना चाहते हैं, मैं फिर से एक बार दोहरा रहा हूँ कि हर सरकार की ये जिम्मेदारी है कि अपने लोगों का ध्यान रखें और उनके हित में काम करें, और जितना जल्दी से जल्दी लॉ एंड ऑर्डर, कानून व्यवस्था उस देश में बहाल होगा, उससे उस देश के लोगों के लिए और साथ साथ पूरे क्षेत्र के लिए ये बेहतर होगा। कादम्बरी, आपका सवाल इसी को लेके था जो मैंने कहा। तो इस मुद्दे पे हमारी बातचीत वहाँ के सरकार से चल रही है। जैसा कि आप जानते हैं कि वहाँ पर हमारा हाई कमीशन के अलावा 4 और असिस्टेंट हाई कमीशन भी हैं, उनकी सुरक्षा को लेके, और वहाँ पर जो हमारे लोग रहते हैं उनके सुरक्षा को लेके हम लोग लगातार उनसे बातचीत कर रहे हैं। और ये हमारा एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि जल्द से जल्द वहाँ कानून व्यवस्था सुधरे, ताकि हम लोग अपना जो काम काज है, जो उच्चायुक्त का काम काज है, वो जल्द से जल्द शुरुआत हो। नीरज, आपका सवाल दूसरे तरफ का था। तो ये जो आपने वाकया बताया कि वहाँ से 2 परिवार आए हैं बॉर्डर पार करके, इसके बारे में मेरे पास अभी जानकारी नहीं है, लेकिन मैंने जैसा कहा कि ये हर देश का ये उसकी अपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है कि जो अपने लोग हैं उनकी सुरक्षा करें और उनका देखभाल करें। ऋषभ, what was your question? Can you repeat again?
So there are reports that people who came along with Sheikh Hasina and her sister have now started to leave for their further destination. They were moved to safe houses in Delhi, and now they are being assisted. So wherever they have visa for or they have documents to travel for, they are being assisted to leave. So is it like, if you can just give us more details on that?
So, you know, as far as former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is concerned, I told you that we don't have an update on the plan, on her plans. It is for her to take things forward. As far as other members that you talked about, I mean, they of course they have their own. They are responsible for themselves, and they will. I also again don't have an update on their plans. It is for them to take forward what they think is in their best interest. Yes. So there, I would again repeat what I had said just earlier, that it is the responsibility of every government to ensure the well-being of all its citizens. We hope for early restoration of law and order in Bangladesh. This is both in the interest of the country itself and the larger region. Milan, the question was regarding Bay of Bengal investments. As I told you,
so investments that we have invested in, of course, in Bangladesh, railroad projects, etc., power, and whether we are considering that there could be a possibility that they give a port to US or China, which could impact the monopoly of Indian Navy in Bay of Bengal.
So, you know, as I told you, we are engaged with authorities in Dhaka. We have before us an evolving situation. As a close friend of the people of Bangladesh, it is our understanding that we want restoration of peace and stability in the country as soon as possible, so that normal life can begin, so that we can all the things that you've talked about, they can be looked after, and we can take the interest of our people, of the people of Bangladesh, and our own interests forward. Can we have more questions? Yeshi.
This is Yeshi Seli from the New Indian Express. Yesterday we read that some members of the of the Indians who were working in the High Commission and Assistant High Commissions were facilitated to come back. How many have come back out of these 500? And also the minorities who've been attacked, if they will India consider letting them in if they seek help, because they are most vulnerable right now? And besides the 9,000 students who have returned, the others continue to be there, or also are they also seeking help?
So this is Ayushi Agwar from ANI. Can we have more details of the talks held between our Foreign Minister and UK Foreign Secretary this afternoon? How much was Bangladesh discussed, and was the possible asylum to UK a part of discussion too?
Sudhi.
So, Shruti Ranjan from Bloomberg. So, as you said, the situation is fluid. In your initial statement, can you give us an understanding whether the government of India has opened negotiations or reached out to the interim government, Muhammad Yunus, or anybody in charge in Bangladesh, in particular the army?
Yes, please.
I am Gautam Dairi. Yeah, now, as you said, that new government would be sworn in the evening. So, what will be India's attitude towards the new government? Because they're the next door neighbor, as you say, a close neighbor.
Okay. Siddhant.
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant from CNN News 18. Sir, I want to know that since you said that we are engaging with people back in Dhaka, I have two questions. So one, have we raised the issue of minorities being attacked specifically? And second, who are we talking to, army or the probable members of the interim government or the political parties in Dhaka? Thank you.
Okay. Let me, too many questions, so let me answer them and then.
Yeshi, we had informed External Affairs Minister in his statement thereabout in Bangladesh, of which 9,000 thereabout are students. Indians who want to come back, and there our High Commission is assisting them with support. Obviously, the airlines are operating, as you know. There are several people have reached out to our High Commission and Assistant High Commission for support, and that assistance is being rendered to Indian nationals, and several people have also come back. We hope that the security situation in the country improves soon so that normal life can begin, and it will be easy for us, our High Commission and Assistant High Commission, also to begin their normal functioning. Insofar as the question of the Indian staffers working in our High Commission is concerned, we have only our non-essential Indian staff members and their family members have come back. And given the situation, this is also the situation with other embassies. They have also pulled back their non-essential or their own people. We hope that normalcy returns so that we can, our High Commission and Assistant High Commission, they can begin the normal work as soon as possible.
External Affairs Minister, a few hours back, he had a conversation with Foreign Secretary David Lammy. He has, the two leaders spoke about developments in Bangladesh and West Asia. Further than that, I don't have anything else to add to that. So on the authorities, yes, we are in touch with Bangladesh authorities. We are closely monitoring the situation. We are in touch with them to ensure the safety and security of our missions. of our personnel who are manning those missions, and also for the security and security of Indian nationals. You also asked the question about Gautamji asked the question about the interim government, which government, on that, let's wait, I would say, because it is an evolving situation. It would be premature for me to comment at this stage, but as I told you, I would like to emphasize and make this one thing very clear, that the interest of the people of Bangladesh is foremost in our minds, in the mind of the government, and it's so important for Government of India and for the people of India. On minority issues, yes, we have, Siddhant, we are closely monitoring the situation. External Affairs Minister also talked about it. We are, we hope that certain steps have been taken by organizations, and we welcome that. We want that the law and order situation in the country improves so that normal life can begin. And also to that, I would like to again reiterate the point. It is the responsibility of every government to ensure the well-being of all its citizens. We hope for early restoration of law and order in Bangladesh. This is both in the interest of the country itself and the larger region. More questions? So, one.
This is Raghavendra Verma from German television ZDF. So the events in Bangladesh earlier this week were quite dramatic, and there were loss of life, so many. How does India define or term that? Was it considered to be unfortunate what has happened in Bangladesh this week, and what did we have an impact on India? What precautions the government is taking so that there would not be many negative impacts on India, and why this would have happened? Sheikh Hasina was an ally of India, and what India was doing, and why it reached that stage.
Yeah.
So if I have two questions, Pia with the print. First, if you could confirm if the EAM is traveling to the Maldives this week and what his agenda will be. Secondly, on Bangladesh, as the External Affairs Minister said on the floor of the Parliament, the protest began with the anti-issue, but it escalated and took a turn, eventually coalescing around the removal of Sheikh Hasina. So was it that Indian intelligence agencies were not aware of this escalation in our neighboring country, or was it that no action was taken on available intelligence?
Okay. Manish?
सर मैं मनीष हूँ TV9 से. मोहम्मद यूनुस जो कि बांग्लादेश में इंटरिम सरकार को लीड करने वाले हैं, उनका इंडिया को लेकर बहुत ही मिक्स रिएक्शन रहा है. पब्लिकली वो ये बात काफ़ी क्रिटिसाइज़ करते हैं कि शेख हसीना को इंडिया ने बहुत ज़्यादा समर्थन दिया है. तो अब जबकि वो सरकार को लीड करेंगे तो इंडिया की क्या एक्सपेक्टेशन है मोहम्मद यूनुस से?
Abhishek?
Hi, sir, this is Abhishek Jha from CNN News 18. My question will be yet again on the same minority issues. You said that law and order situation is the responsibility of the state government, but there is rampant incidences of persecution and oppression of minorities, and several hundreds of them have come closer to the Indian borders. They want shelter or some sort of refuge in India. Do we have any policy as of now whether the Hindus, the minority Hindus fleeing from Bangladesh, will be allowed entry as a temporary basis, or are we not allowing them to enter India right now?
Okay. Neeraj?
सर नीरज हूँ न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से. शेख हसीना के बेटे ने न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया से बातचीत में कहा है कि बांग्लादेश में जो हुआ है बाहरी फैक्टर्स में ISI का भी हाथ है और US की तरफ भी इशारा किया. कैसे देखते हैं आप इस बयान को?
Okay, let me answer this question first to a friend here. On the situation in Bangladesh, our foreign minister has spoken, external affairs minister has spoken on the floor of the parliament. He has given a detailed explanation of the situation in Bangladesh from our point of view. So I would refer you to look at the suo motu statement. Over and above, I would like to tell you and others also that we are in touch with Bangladesh authorities. We have requested them to ensure safety and security of our nationals, also safety and security of our High Commission and their personnel. And it is our expectation that law and order will return to normalcy hopefully soon, so that normal relationship can begin, normal transaction, normal life in the country can begin. Also, I would like to again emphasize that the interest of the people of Bangladesh is foremost for us. Pia, regarding the visit that you mentioned, you will come to know of the visit once we announce it. So let's wait for that. There are a lot of things that are happening, so we'll have to wait you'll have to wait for us to announce the visit. Regarding the question again, what you said, I would urge you to look at the statement made by the External Affairs Minister. That would give you an indication of our understanding and how we look at the developments in Bangladesh. Manish, आपका सवाल देखिए, अभी तो वहाँ सरकार जो अंतरिम सरकार है बना नहीं है. एक बार अंतरिम सरकार बन जाए तो उसके बाद कुछ कहा जा सकता है. अब अभी की स्थिति में ये है कि थोड़ा प्रीमैच्योर है कहना, लेकिन मैंने जैसे कहा आपसे कि अंतरिम सरकार आए और भी बहुत सारी चीज़ें होंगी आने वाली, लेकिन हमारे लिए जो है वहाँ के लोगों की जो आकांक्षाएं हैं, वहाँ के लोगों का जो हित है, वो हमारे लिए सर्वोपरि है और रहेगा भारत के लिए, भारत के लोगों के लिए. तो इस उद्देश्य को मद्देनजर रखते हुए हम लोग काम करेंगे. Abhishek, I have already answered this question, but I would again like to repeat very specifically for you that it is the responsibility of every government to ensure the well-being of all its citizens. We hope for early restoration of law and order in Bangladesh. This is both in the interest of country itself and the larger region. So that should answer your question. नीरज, आपने सवाल किया फॉरेन हैंड को लेके, तो मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि वहाँ जो घटनाएं हुए हैं कुछ दिन में, उसके हर पहलू को हम लोग उसका निरीक्षण कर रहे हैं, एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं और देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है. So we are closely analyzing all aspects of recent developments in Bangladesh. This was in reference to the question posed by Neeraj on involvement of foreign powers and governments. Shall we go? I hope there are, you're asking the same question, so, I would have already answered many of your questions on Bangladesh at least. There and then.
Sir, you just mentioned that India has been, in touch, discussed the Bangladesh situation with the UK. There was also a BRICS Sherpa meeting about which you posted earlier in the day. So, could you give a sense of if India is, coordinating with, how many foreign partners India is coordinating with as far as the situation in Bangladesh is concerned? And sir, just one more question on the minorities issue in Bangladesh, sir. Have the Indian High Commission and the Assistant High Commissions received any visa applications from members of the minority community or those associated with former dispensations in the last 2 days? And sir, because we are given to understand that the visa operations, they have been suspended in the morning. Thank you, sir.
Sachin?
Hi, Sachin from the Times of India. Given that, as the Foreign Minister said in Parliament, she had sought permission to come here only for the moment. and the fact that an extended presence for us may not be to the liking of the new dispensation in Dhaka. Can you give us a sense of what is the understanding in the government about how long can we afford to have Hasina on our soil? Is there a sort of a time frame or a deadline or a line which you have drawn for her, beyond which you would not be able to have here? Thanks.
सर, मैं संजीव त्रिवेदी हूँ न्यूज़ 24 से, और इसी सवाल को आगे बढ़ाते हुए विदेश मंत्री का जो बयान था संसद में, उसको दिए करीब 48 घंटे बीत चुके हैं। तो तेजी से बदलते घटनाक्रम के संदर्भ में आपसे ये जानना है कि क्या शेख हसीना ने हम लोगों से पॉलिटिकल असाइलम मांगा है, और अगर ऐसा नहीं है तो क्या वो एक ऐसे मित्र के तौर पर यहाँ हैं जो जब तक चाहें तब तक यहाँ रहेंगी, या फिर भारत उनको किसी दूसरे देश में असाइलम लेने में मदद कर रहा है?
ओके, कलोल।
Kalol Bhattacharjee from The Hindu. My question is, this evening we have the swearing-in ceremony of the interim government. So has there been an invite from the Bangladesh side to send an Indian representative at the event, and who is going to represent India at the event? And also, sir, you were saying repeatedly that the interest of the Bangladesh people is really paramount for you. So in that sense, has India reconciled to the developments of the last few days, and are you now in a position to say that you are perhaps kind of positive towards the change that has taken place?
Okay. First, Dharya, your question on the Bangladesh issue. We talked about the discussion that External Affairs Minister had with the UK Foreign Secretary just a few hours back. Those discussions were on West Asia and also developments in Bangladesh. Regarding G20 meetings, yes, we have been regularly attending G20 meetings. The recent one was on G20 development issues, where our Secretary ER had participated. We also released a press release that will give you more details of our engagement. On the visa issue, last 2-3 days, because of violence and arson in Dhaka, it was difficult to conduct normal activities, normal functioning of the embassy. Once normal functioning or law and order is restored, we hope that normal functioning will begin soon, because this bilateral relations is so important, and we'll be able to conduct all our functions.
The BRICS Sherpa meeting about which you posted in the morning. So did this issue come up specifically?
I don't have an update on whether this particular issue was discussed in the BRICS Sherpa meeting. I will come back to you with more details on that. Sachin, regarding the former Prime Minister, I would again like to reiterate and repeat, I have already said this, that it would not be appropriate for me to comment on her plans. It is for her to take things forward. संजीव, आपका सवाल भी जवाब जो मैंने दिया है वही जवाब है आपके लिए भी. Kalol, swearing-in ceremony, I understand, I saw reports that it is to be held this evening. I don't know the exact time, somewhere I read that 8 o'clock. I also understand that diplomatic community members have been invited to participate. It is likely that our High Commissioner would participate. Again, I would like to emphasize that for us, we have been in touch with the authorities in Bangladesh presently. As far as the interim government is concerned, let's see, let's wait. It is slightly premature for us to comment on it. But as I said, the interest of Bangladeshi people is of paramount importance to us. Uma, again.
Sir, एक सवाल ब्रिटेन को
बताइए।
ब्रिटेन को लेकर है सर। मेरा नाम आकाश श्रीवास्तव है, मैं थर्ड आई वर्ड न्यूज से हूँ सर। सर, ब्रिटेन के कई शहरों में पिछले कुछ समय से काफ़ी हिंसक प्रदर्शन चल रहे हैं। इस बारे में भारत जो हिंसा चल रहा है वो किस नज़रिए से देखता है सर?
Okay.
So I just want to know what is India's position on the recent elections in Venezuela, because the American government is not accepting the results. So does it have an impact on our relations with that country, and what happens to the money which is stuck there?
Siddhant, what is the question?
So not on Bangladesh, on situation in West Asia, because that's also another major hotspot, and many Indians are there in Lebanon, Israel. How do you assess the situation? We know the advisories have been issued, so are we looking at some kind of evacuation plan, or do you see the situation remaining same?
Okay. Milan?
So you said that External Affairs Minister spoke with David Lammy. So apart from Bangladesh, if anything else was discussed, because we have a statement from the UK Home Office saying that Sheikh Hasina should seek asylum in the first country, which is India, and whether they have spoken on her asylum request in the UK.
Okay, first question to a friend here. ब्रिटेन में जो हिंसा, आपने हिंदी में पूछा था अंग्रेजी में पूछा था? हिंदी में पूछा था। ब्रिटेन में जो हिंसा को लेके काफ़ी सारी हादसा आपने देखा होगा, उसको लेके हम लोगों ने एक एडवाइजरी भी जारी की है, क्योंकि हमारे बहुत सारे लोग यूके जाते हैं और बहुत सारे भारतीय मूल के लोग वहाँ रहते हैं। तो हम लोगों ने इस एडवाइजरी में ये कहा कि आप लोग जहाँ जहाँ हिंसक घटनाएं हो रहे हैं उससे बच के रहिए, ताकि अपनी सुरक्षा आप स्वयं कर सकते हैं। तो एडवाइजरी ज़रूरी था ये हिंसा को लेके। तो ये मैं कहूँगा कि हम लोगों की ये प्रतिक्रिया रही वहाँ पर जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की स्थिति बिगड़ी है उसको लेके। On recent election in Bangladesh, in Venezuela, yes, we are following the developments in Venezuela since the recent presidential elections, and we hope that there will be a peaceful resolution of the issue. That is our position to make that point to the question that you asked. So, well, that is an issue, but it is also an ongoing issue. We will have to deal with that issue with the government there and the stakeholders who are involved as to how it can be resolved. So I guess I understand, but I don't have all the details, but I understand that there have been some communication between the stakeholders involved on the financial part that you mentioned. Milan, yes, the UK Foreign Secretary and External Affairs Minister had a conversation. Apart from West Asia, Bangladesh was also discussed. Over than that, I don't have it. We have already made it clear. I don't have any more further details on this. Siddhant, question regarding West Asia. Yes, the situation in West Asia is of extreme concern to us. As you know, there are around 3,000 Indian nationals in Lebanon. There are 10,000 people in Iran. Our embassies there, they have issued advisories for people to be alert, to be cautious, and given the situation, we would continue to call for de-escalation and call for restraint, because that is the need of the hour. So with that, we come to the closure of this press engagement. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so that was the weekly media briefing by Ministry of External Affairs, and the key questions were answered related to Bangladesh. What is the latest development, and what are the plans of the government about the Indians who are residing in Bangladesh, to which the government responded that the government is taking care of it and it is keenly following all the latest development which are unfolding in Bangladesh, and everything will be posted regularly to the media. And the other questions were also answered duly, which were asked in the regular media briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs. Moving on, right now it's time to get to the latest from the world of Olympics. We are getting a breaking news from Olympics where India's Aman Sehrawat has moved into the semi-finals in 57 kg weight category of wrestling. This is a big news when we talk about India's contention at Paris Olympics. This is the last few days of the Paris Olympics 2024. And India's wrestler Aman Sehrawat, who represents India in the 57 kg weight category, has entered the semi-finals. He defeated his opponent, the opponent who hails from Bulgaria, by technical superiority. So both his games, both the contention, be it the pre-quarterfinal or the quarterfinal, have been really good, where Aman Sehrawat made a very good performance. So he sealed his spot in the semi-finals of men's freestyle 57 kg weight category successfully. He defeated his opponent by 12-0. Earlier in the round of 16 clash, Aman defeated former European champion Vladimir Egorov by 10-0 to make it to the quarterfinal round. And in the quarterfinal, he beat Albania's Zelimkhan Abakarov by technical superiority by a 12-0 scoreline. So this is altogether coming across as a very good performance from Aman Sehrawat. Aman Sehrawat is also the bronze medalist of Asian Games, which were held in Hangzhou. Apart from that, he is also a multiple medalist when we talk about Grand Prix. And Aman Sehrawat has performed consistently well in this edition of Paris Olympics as well. This is his first Olympics and he is playing very good. Technical superiority against Albania's Zelimkhan Abakarov has now increase the hopes of all the Indians, and especially who are looking forward to a medal after what happened with Vinesh Fogart and other players who were not able to consistently perform in the sport of wrestling in different weight categories. But 57 kg weight category is coming across as a ray of hope for all the Indians who are eyeing for a medal today, because today is also a very important day. Neeraj Chopra will be in action. He is the gold medalist of the previous edition of Tokyo Olympics, and today he will be in contention for another medal when he'll be playing his final today. Neeraj Chopra's final is scheduled to take place at 11:55 p.m. But before that, Aman Sehrawat will also be vouching for a medal in the semi-finals today, because he's entered the semi-finals. If he wins the semi-finals, India will be assured of yet another medal. The medal color will then be decided, but it all depends of how his game will go against his opponent in the semi-finals. If we talk about the semis, he will next face first seeded Rei Higuchi in the semi-final today. So Rei comes from Japan. He is number 1 seeded at this Paris Olympics. Aman Sehrawat is number 5 seeded, but Aman has consistently performed very well. So let's see. It's going to be a tough fight between Rei and Aman Sehrawat, but let's see if Aman Sehrawat would be able to continue his performance, because technical superiority has given us a lot of hope and his score line speaks loud about him. And to talk more about this, I'm joined by Narayan Singh. Narayan, all eyes were on Neeraj earlier, but Aman Sehrawat has raised hopes for all the Indians when we talk about India's medal contention at Paris Olympics, and especially today in the 57 kg weight category. Narayan.
Definitely, what a display of skill we witnessed from Aman Sehrawat. The way he defeated the world champion from Albania, Zelimkhan, was a fantastic bout. It shows that the class of the Indian wrestling, he gave no chance to his opponent and won on the basis of the technical superiority. And definitely we can say that in the next round also in the semis, we will hope that he will just the kind of performance in the previous round he displayed, he will display this kind of wrestling in the semis also. And definitely we know that his opponent in the semis, Rei Higuchi, is a tough opponent, we know that, but he is a seeded 1 in this category of the 57 kg category where playing. But a fantastic bout by Aman, hoping that he will continue this thing in the semis bout too, and will give us a challenge to the Japanese opponent there. And we are hoping that he will book a medal for India. And today's semis will take place. It's around 9:45 IST today, and till next day from there, if he goes to the finals, the bout will be played tomorrow.
We are all hopeful that Aman Sehrawat moves into the finals, winning the semi-final, but then semi-final is the toughest challenge. If you look at both the opponents that Aman has faced so far, Narayan, in the quarterfinals and in the pre-quarterfinals, the toughest one comes in the semi-finals only, which is the only hurdle that he needs to cross in order to ensure a medal for the country. But Rei Higuchi, the #1 seeded Japanese player, is a tough task. However, we've seen the attacking style that Aman Sehrawat has followed and has shown on the mat today. What do you think about Japanese opponent Rei Higuchi versus Aman Sehrawat, and would this approach really work for Aman Sehrawat continuing his attacking momentum on the mat, Narayan?
Deepika, we know that the caliber of athlete, it doesn't matter who is their opponent, whether they are the Olympic champions, world champions. As we saw in the case of Vinesh Phogat, she was against the Japanese wrestler who has a unbeaten streak of 82 matches, still the bout against Vinesh. And Vinesh just broke that unbeaten iconic streak against that Japanese wrestler. This shows that the mindset of a player is that it doesn't matter who is their opponent, from which country they belong. It doesn't matter. It only matters they believe in their skills, they believe in their resilience, they believe in their power, they believe in their hard work they have done. And definitely, I think the kind of skills and the technical prowess he displayed in the semis against the world champion wrestler from Albania, I think definitely it will be a difficult task for the Japanese to handle Aman Sehrawat, the kind of skills he is displaying here in Paris. We are hoping that definitely Aman has an upper hand, the kind of skill he is showing.
And talking about overall India's performance at this edition of Paris Olympics, Narayan, we've seen the rise of new stars like Swapnil Kushale, and here once again Aman Sehrawat has been doing good in Asian Games, in Grand Prix events, in other championship, and eventually securing the quota for Paris Olympics. But then Aman Sehrawat into the semi-finals was a bit unexpected, and we are witnessing similar sort of performance from different players also. What do you think about the support that these players are constantly getting? This is somewhere reflecting in their performances on the mat or in the courts of badminton, shooting, or any other sport when we talk about it all together?
Definitely, it's all on display by our players. We know that already we missed many medals by a discus, but we know that it's Olympic, an ordinary event. Here, nobody is going to hand you easy win. You have to earn it. Win is not granted here, because the world's best athletes are here to compete. And we know that it's a matter of a luck too. On that day, what's the zone of the athlete on particular days, especially in the sports like shooting, as there also we missed many medals by a whisker with a 4th place finish. So we can say that we missed few medals, otherwise it would have been a double-digit tally for the India here at this games, and the best ever figures you could have registered here. But already, as I mentioned, that it is Olympics, nobody will hand out you a medal very easily, but a full fight. And it shows that even the areas in the sports and disciplines where we are just be there for the sake of participation in the earlier games, here if you take a look at the skeet mixed event where India first time was there, means they were there in the medal round. So especially these are the things that we can see the constant progress here in the Indian sports arena. Also, we are hoping that our new heroes, especially as you mentioned, Swapnil Kushale, his medal was unexpected too. We are expecting from the medals like from Swift Kaur Samra to in badminton. There was the duo of Satvik Sairaj and Chirag Shetty. We are hoping, but somehow, if you take a look at the case of the Lakshyan, he was not in the contention for the qualification for the Olympics because he was languishing somewhere at the 24-25 in his rankings. And you also know that for at least two badminton players from one Olympic committee to be there in the Olympics, it requires the ranking from 1 to 16. So within a span of 2 months, he just moved himself to under 16 ranking. And what kind of badminton he's played, we all know that. Even Victor Axelsen just appreciated the kind of badminton Lakshyan played. He said that he played better than him. So all these things shows that there's a constant improvement in the Indian sports, despite of the fact we failed to convert few chances into the third place. Otherwise, definitely, we would have been there in the top 20 right now. But we can say that it's Olympics. You have to pull yourself to the more extent.
And indeed, Narayan, it's a very important day because in a very short while from now, we will see Indian hockey team to be in bronze medal contention because they would be taking Spain in their bronze medal match. And apart from that, now we have Aman Sehrawat who would be playing his semi-final tonight at 9:45, and then at 11:55 we've got Neeraj Chopra who would be playing his final. 89.34 was his throw, and we are expecting today's throw to go beyond that, set a new personal best, set a new Olympic best record. What do you think overall of today's day, today's performance and today's expectations from all three major events that are lined up for India today?
Talking about hockey, we know that Indian team, despite of the fact that they lost the semi-final match against Germany, they played the exceptional hockey in this tournament. Even they were just dominating the German team. They were almost there to be in the finals of the tournament. But we know that in that match, the vital cog of the Indian defense, Amit Rohidas, was not there. And I think that because of that absence of Amit Rohidas, we lost that match. Otherwise, he was one of the best defenders and just penalty corner specialist too. So that that absence of Amit Rohidas in that match, I think, was we missed him in that match, and because of that we considered one more goal. Otherwise, that was also in the last 6 minutes. Otherwise, the score was 2-2, and Indian team was planning to take the match in the penalty shootout as they did against the British team, where they won the match. They played at least for more than around 40 minutes, 3 quarters, with 10 minutes against a team like Britain, who were playing an aggressive and attacking hockey. So we are hoping that definitely they will give a tough competition to the Spanish team, and we are hoping, and we all know about the Neeraj, the one and done show in the qualification, what he did, 89.3 meters, a massive throw, a monster throw. Huge throw, and hoping that we know that he's a current world champion, Olympic champion, Diamond League winner, and definitely Neeraj is the hope, and the whole country is looking to Neeraj that today he will win a gold medal for India, and this, depending on the Olympic gold, the Tokyo gold, will be the iconic moment in the Neeraj life too. He has done everything. If he just, we can say that, can manage to defend this gold, I think that is the greatest of all time in Indian sport.
All right, thank you so much, Narayan, for joining us and bringing us the latest information on the matches that we are expecting today, starting from hockey to wrestling and then the javelin throw event. And with this, it's a wrap here on this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.